What are some tips for staying unified and getting over the trauma of Mill ruining your wedding? Please do not share or reproduce this post in any way. Curious how others have worked through this. Would prefer not to share details of the wedding day because they still upset me. Even writing this kinda triggers me to sad feelings, but grateful to say that it's helped a lot that my husband has grown a lot in setting boundaries with his family, particularly his mom, since then, and has recognized a lot of blind spots that were once there due to growing up surrounded by Mill. Unfortunately, recovery from being raised by an emotionally enmeshed mother is often a slow process, as is recovering from Mill trauma. So any tips are welcome on handling when your spouse still kinda reflects positively/well on certain things that you found really hard or damaging at the time as someone not enmeshed with the toxic person. AKA, how do you continue to overcome the impact of Mill trauma for you personally, while your spouse grows at a different rate? To be sure, my husband is not a mama's boy, sides with me, sees the disrespect from Mill, defends me, and he doesn't welcome her enmeshment. I think he is better than most with this. Also, I am very encouraged that we've been able to get on the same page, and we're LC to NC with Mill. He is humble, strives to always grow, has a heart of gold, and has always tried to have my back. But he just didn't fully get some of what we were dealing with his mom and family back when we were getting married, and he's still developing a more attuned radar for some of the insidious, the subtlety of Mill's tactics. Frankly, when it was unfolding, I was calibrating with my correct gut instincts about Mill as well and learning how to navigate that in our relationship, so it's been a growing process for us both. I don't like dwelling on the past, but it is hard sometimes looking back because we don't share congruent wedding experiences. His memories are more positive than mine because of where he was at with not picking up on some things the day of, and though I know DH feels terrible about that, we can't change the past, so I just want to continue to grow and heal to guard my perspective for the future. We are both stronger for continually extracting ourselves from the toxicity and ultimately always growing in how we protect our relationship. So what's helped you keep moving, keep healing, and continuing to focus on the good despite the impact of Mill in significant life events or everyday life? What helps keep you unified as a couple and growing together through the difficult Mill realm when your spouse is recovering from a lifetime of that abuse? Comment. Affirm the positive things he does and says to be united with you. If she upsets you, talk to him about how to handle it, but don't continue to bring it up once resolved. I was bad at this. Keep helping him see things in the moment and ask him to handle it then, not a day/week/month later. That gives Mill time to claim she forgets or have an excuse ready. It sounds like you are a united team and will grow together. Stay alert as she may find new ways to manipulate DH and he may fall for a few things at first. You now know what to expect as you and DH reach milestones in your marriage. Moving, if you live near her, and having children will be the most taxing. Keep her on an info diet on your plans and make it clear no one else gets an opinion on your joint decisions. Set hard boundaries when necessary and enforce appropriate consequences every single time, if you have a child, this will be very important. Patience and communication are your tools right now. Talk to DH about things that bother you, be honest and open so things don't pile up and cause an explosion. That's great, your DH supports your decision to not be around her, or at least only when necessary. I understand DH wanted her to see your home when you moved in, but he should from this point moving forward visit her anywhere but there. Your home is your safe place, you should never have to stay away because she's there. Do not let her ever think she has the power to kick you out of your own home. A similar situation happened with Mill at our 10-person COVID wedding. As if the wedding wasn't hard enough, she destroyed what little I had left. It has taken a lot of counseling, family, couples, and individual, and she still doesn't see what she did was wrong. My husband is completely supportive and is deeply hurt as well. Our relationship with Mill will never be the same or remotely close to what she would ever like. We can't trust her. She hurt us when we were most vulnerable and feels no remorse. I can't look at any wedding photos or memories as a flood of memories is overwhelming. My Mill has also avoided all other important life events despite being invited. I think this is the best because I have been thrown into panic attacks for her possibly ruining my baby shower or girl's first birthday. I don't need any major life memories ruined by her again. So if you are feeling any of the above, it is completely valid and I understand. I'll second therapy. I'll second another party. I'll also highly recommend the books in the sidebar and journaling. That's what's really helped me to understand my in-laws, their behavior, and my reactions to it all. I'm a verbal processor, so writing it all out, doing burn letters, and getting the negativity physically processed, exercise, angry movement, etc., has made the biggest differences for me. Next story 2. Mill's train is late, so we should have driven 3 hours to see her. My Mill is an immature manipulative brat, that's the best way I can describe her. A little background, my DH is from Florida but moved to Texas, where we still live, for a job right out of college. We met 2 years later and have been together for almost 10 years. My Mill blames me completely for my DH living here and likes to intimate that I am controlling and keep him from seeing her. I don't at all and encourage him to go see his family whenever he wants. So last week my husband and I were planning to be in Orlando. Mill lives in Clearwater, a 2-hour drive. We told her our plans to be in the state after a lot of back and forth and eventually decided to tell her that while we had plans for most of our trip, the last evening we'd be there she was welcome to meet us for dinner and even stay the night in the apartment we were staying at, 2-bedroom provided by my company as a little bonus. She wasn't thrilled that we didn't include her in our other plans, but she accepted the invite. She planned to take a train from Tampa to Orlando, which would arrive at 7. We made dinner reservations and I braced for the worst. The day of her visit, DH and I spent some much needed time day drinking and lounging in the pool, just relaxing and enjoying each other's company. At around 5 p.m. we head inside to 1, sober up 2, have a little sexy time before we need to get ready to pick his mom up. At around 5:30 DH gets a text from Mill saying the train is apparently going to be significantly late. That she wouldn't even get to Orlando until 9 p.m. at the earliest. We check in most of the restaurants and things close around 9 to 10 and tell her that since we have to go to the airport the next morning and it would be so late, maybe it would be best to just skip the evening as we'll be back in Florida in December just to visit her. She bitches about the train but says okay. Later that night DH gets this text: I drove back home and met some friends for trivia night. They asked why you didn't just drive to see me. I told them that you and my name here must have just been too busy. First of all, are you a teenager, my friends asked. But secondly, she could have driven to us, she would have arrived earlier than the train and by the time she arrived we would have been ready. Instead it would have taken us a couple hours to sober up enough to drive, get showered, dressed and ready, so we wouldn't have been there until much later, plus we had to go to the airport in the AM and wouldn't have gotten back until super late. More than anything I'm pissed at how she made my husband feel and how her petty passive-aggressive texts ruined our last night of vacation. This is one of her less egregious actions, just so annoying. Comment. I'd just let her message lie there like a lead balloon. No need to respond to such obvious nonsense. You traveled all that way and she couldn't meet you. That's sad. I'm sorry she's like that. I used to live in Flagler. Orlando traffic sucks ass. The closer you get to Disney, the worse it gets. People lose their damn minds. But she lives in Clearwater. Clearwater's traffic is no better. I know she goes to Tampa. Tampa's traffic is also bad. She's being a butt. Well mom, you should have told them the truth. That a 6-hour round-trip car ride on 5 minutes notice the night before we have to be at the airport to fly home is just ridiculous. Tell your friends to lay off the wine, they aren't thinking straight. And you should do the same. Guilt-trippy messages like this don't work, and actually have the opposite effect of which you intend. Next story 3. Mill was on speaker and I honestly don't know what I expected. Please do not repost. I do not give permission to share my post anywhere else. Hello everyone, I am here again because I honestly want to vent. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who has shared their tips and own experiences with me on my other posts. You are all so strong and greatly appreciated. Anyways, a few days ago DH talked to his mom. There was already tension there BC of a different topic, but it kind of shifted pretty quickly. He put the phone on speaker so I could hear everything. Mill literally said that she had told him in the beginning that she wanted him to come by every single day. Now keep in mind that we live in the building right next door. Don't worry, we want to move out and have finally started looking. He said that it was ridiculous to expect that, and I wondered when his mother expressed those wishes. She again compared everything to my mother and claimed that we visit her more often. Even though DH said that he hasn't seen her this week, Mill still claims that no, you visit her more often. She also said that she expects me to bring DH over all the time, like WTF, is he my child? Because her own husband used to do it. DH said that I am usually the one who tells him that we should visit his parents and bring STH over. Even on that day he had brought something that I baked over because we wouldn't be able to finish it and I don't like throwing food away. She never acknowledged anything he said and just ranted. Hearing it come out of her mouth was satisfying because everything I always suspected was proven by her. DH said the same. He is glad that she finally spoke it out loud. This also proves to me that she expects me to do everything, even work on her relationship with my husband, and probably accuses me of everything. I know what she has, a mental condition, it is obvious, and she does take medication. I think I just don't know what she has. But it's still so difficult for me not to react and get angry. How entitled can someone be? Why is she like this? I have wondered why I feel so strongly and am triggered by this. I even had a very tight chest that day and felt depressed, as if my body knew that something was going to happen. I don't know if I have anxiety or am depressed. I honestly have had enough of her BS, and I also don't know what I will say if she were to say these things in front of me. Have you dealt with something similar? Comment. Yep, my mother. She expected us to come for dinner every Sunday as newlyweds. Wasn't going to happen because I was in school full-time and working part-time, and my new husband was traveling for work. Weekends were sacred for us. Of course she blew up about it. Within a year she and I were estranged. I learned quickly that you can't reason with an unreasonable person. Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? She probably can't or won't change, but you also persist in having a relationship with her. The way this works is you determine if she's safe to have in your life just as she is or not. If she's not a safe person, you cut her off for your own safety. If she's safe but annoying and you decide you're going to stick around, then you need strategies to not get mad. You can only control what you choose to do. For the people that have her in her life, the way to do that is to overlook the things she says and not waste energy trying to get her to be better. That doesn't mean they has to be your way, but they're advising you based on what they do. Well, you guys could quit responding to her arguments like they are rational and just make clucking and cooing sounds when she starts complaining. Oh, I know, it's so unfair, you poor thing, bless your heart. Quit trying to solve her issues. She will have a problem for every solution. She just wants sympathy. And probably to have you both at her beck and call. Please do not get sucked into the pit of trying to please or appease her. There is no bottom to that pit. Good luck. Your Mill sounds like she has a really bad case of the plums, aka poor little old me syndrome. It's quite serious, I'm afraid. My own mother has regular flare UPS, so the way I've learned to deal with it is to just stop caring. When someone hurts me, I just stop caring about them. I don't care about what they say, what they do. They're nothing to me, and I'm not going to get emotionally invested. I've got no problem cutting people out of my life, but if I can't cut them out physically, then I'll cut them out emotionally. I don't know if it's healthy per se, but it's helped me in the past.